This is a macro view of the dial of a Grand Seiko spring drive, and you can clearly see how it has those concentric texture, those concentric grooves. And then to show the power reserve, it has uh, lines, radiating lines that increase in length as the power increases on the watch. It's got a Grand Seiko obviously has very beautiful finishing. You can see a texture on the dial, and it's just exquisite. The hour markers have this beautiful curve to them with polishing, and they actually have an enamel coating that can only be seen, like we can see it on the hands there. Let's get focus. So yeah, you can see that the hands actually have three edge planes to them. There's the bevel that has the Zaratsu polishing. Then there's the top of the hands, which in addition to the polishing has the black paint right down the center. Absolutely exquisite. The second hand is actually rounded. It doesn't have the sharp edges that the minute and hour hands have. And the hour markers again show that same enamel paint along with the beautifully polished curves. Almost makes it look nautical. They really look like the underside of boats. And it's that level of detail that just makes Grand Seiko so unique that there's really no watch in the world that comes close to a Grand Seiko. You can see on the case marks of usage. Obviously, if you have a watch, you should wear it. Don't save it for a future date. And we can also see the smooth sweep of the seconds dial, which is very typical of spring drive watches, and that's because they don't really have an escapement to go back and forth to modulate the time. The level of detail is quite significant because if you see where the power reserve marker is depressed under the dial, there is even the edges are very uniformly painted. That hand painting that they do is just staggering. You can see the Zaratsu polishing on the index, the markers for the 0 and 100% for the power reserve dial. The power reserve dial also has this beautifully rounded needle that's just exquisite to look at. And there is everything about this watch is about just being as exquisite as a watch can be. We can see that the date window has again this beautiful border around it that just looks as perfect as it catches the light. And in fact, the 3 o'clock marker, you would realize it's actually painted, but then it's raised above the dial. These are details that you can only see under a macro lens. As you see the seconds hand keep rotating across the dial. Similarly, when you look at the logo, you would realize that the paint is actually raised off the surface, and obviously the paint is as perfect as it can get, because perfection is what a Grand Seiko watch is all about. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on a later video.